Hi, and welcome back to another podcast from Geonet Properties and Finance Group. I'm Shad Egan, CEO. I have my friend and co-host and co-founder, Pierre Avenard, with me today.
Hello, Chad. Hello, everybody.
And today we're talking Thailand investment, and we have our fellow Australian and long-term friend, Nick Meredith, with us today. Welcome, Nick.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Yeah.
Hi, Nick.
So Nick, it's an exciting project that we're talking about today out in Thailand. And let me get the name right. It's Na Jom Tien.
Na Jom Tien.
Na Jom Tien.
Correct.
Yeah. About 25 minutes from Pattaya, for those
Correct.
that don't know.
Yes,
Yeah.
south of Pattaya, yes.
South of Pattaya. And Nick, I guess for what we try and achieve in these podcasts is for our investors to get to know who's behind the team, because it's really important for them, to know where they're investing. So Nick, a fellow Australian, can you give us a bit of a background? So you've been in the business for over 35 years in property development.
Yes, very much so. Thank you very much for inviting me on. It's quite bizarre how when you're in an industry that you love, all of a sudden 35 years have gone so quickly. You know, I started on the Gold Coast of Australia in 1987. There was the first project there was on a very small island called Isle of Capri. It's not a small island anymore. The average price is about $5 million. But my first project there was selling villas for 65,000 Australian dollars.
Wow. One
sold earlier this year for, I think it was like $475,000, which remarkably is a 630% increase or 18% per annum over 35 years.
Yeah.
Now, it's going to be pretty hard to find an investment strategy that's going to deliver you 18%. So, yes, I love the business. My father started in real estate. I'm in real estate. My son's now in real estate. So it's sort of in the blood, so to speak.
And you're a partner in Nebu, and we'll talk a little
Yes.
bit about Nebu's background, but you're also the sales director. So
Correct.
If any of our investors need to get on, they can also chat with you because you're really hands-on in this project.
Oh, absolutely. Very much so. I like to speak to most of the foreigners, anyone that can speak English. I actually speak to everybody, regardless of whether I'm the initial salesperson or not. What I like to do is I like to be able to speak to every investor, make sure they're comfortable, make sure they have a full understanding of the project, how it works, to give them peace of mind.
Yeah, because it's interesting, Nick. So we're talking Queensland. So as you know, Geonet Properties and Finance Group, we do Asia Pacific property investment, of course, with yourself in Thailand. Yeah. We're recording from the beautiful Bali offices again today. Mm-hmm. But we have amazing investment properties. It's funny to talk about Gold Coast. We have some amazing investment properties there in Gold Coast. I bet people wish they did have that time machine to go back. But all over Australia. But you know, life for us as expats in Bali, it's a beautiful place to live, and I imagine you're probably seeing the same type of thing, Nick, where people are coming over to Thailand because you can work from home now. So we've got, we talk about this in a lot of podcasts. We have this massive migration over into Queensland. It's happening a lot. We had a huge migration that's coming over to Bali for both investors and owner occupiers because they can work from home. Are you seeing the same type of thing in Thailand, Nick?
Yeah, absolutely. Thailand, especially Phuket and Nha Jom Tien, which is where our project is, and Bangkok. You know, since COVID's taught a lot of people that working from home is now the norm. And so we've got these digital nomads now that are wanting to spend 3 to 6 months a year living in Thailand, and then they want to go back to Australia or go back to Europe and stuff. So we're seeing a huge increase, and that's our new market.
And is the investor profile, is that kind of similar to what we're seeing here as well? The investors are coming over so they actually want to put some money where they're staying as well. So you might be coming over to Thailand, but to be in a project like yours, which we'll talk about more as well, I think that's it's
a good base.
Focus.
It's a good base, right?
Yeah.
For those guys, they are looking for a base to be able to commute, right, between wherever they are in Europe or the US or even Dubai, and they want to be in the tropics. They want to have a piece of and slice of paradise and work from Thailand or as you said, Nha Jom Tien is a perfect place, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree, Pierre. In fact, what we've done in our project, which I can talk a little bit more, is we've created a 900 square meter coffee shop slash social gathering, networking. So people can actually come down. They can spend 3 months on our project, but rather than being cooped up in their room, there's so many areas for them to be able to do some networking, working on their laptop, all those sorts of things. So we've created that environment.
You were saying, Nick, it's the largest co-working space in Thailand.
It is one of the biggest, 900 square meters. It's a pretty big coffee shop.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
And so, Nick, just a little bit about Azure Rich Group, which is taking on the projects. No small company by any means. There's a big history of big construction, because when we get into the project and we see the size of it, you guys are fully equipped to be able to handle a project of this size. 22 years in operation.
Yeah, and so we are 50% Australian, 50% Thai, based here in Bangkok. We have 2 offices here, one in Phuket and one in Jomtien. So, yeah, our previous experience here was government contracts, and these are big government contracts. We're talking, universities, hospitals, government buildings. So when it comes to development and construction here in Thailand, they're very well versed. There's Thailand is it's not what you know, it's who you know, and obviously we have all those government connections to be able to get things done.
Yeah, we talk about that a lot in our other podcasts, Nick, with particularly developers here in Bali, and having the experience to do that gives the investor a lot of confidence. But not only that, not only have the confidence in you as a construction company, but Ramada Encore by Wyndham has the confidence in you as well, right?
Oh, absolutely. And look, and that's a good point you raised there, Chad, because Wyndham Hotels and Resorts, the largest hotel chain in the world, they spent 9 months on due diligence. 9 months. They didn't just go, tick the boxes. They went through.
Did you sleep during that time, Nick?
They went through every aspect of our organization, our financials. They went through previous government contracts. They looked at everything. They looked at the project. They looked at the feasibility studies. They looked at the area, the potential for the whole area. And because we're building 6 hotels, what gave us probably great confidence in the fact that they didn't decide just to take 1 or 2 hotels. They chose to take all 6 hotels.
Wow. Yeah, congrats.
And this is important. Like we on our platform, as you know, Nick, all of the information that a client would need to know, we have put on a single URL so that they can do their due diligence at speed. And please, investors, do your due diligence on this. But if Ramada Encore, if you can pass Ramada Encore, then we're well and truly there as a project that can be delivered.
Correct.
But delivered the return on investment is real.
It's real. Yeah, it's real. Yeah. I mean, you guys obviously, Ramada is helping you to price everything. You know what the nightly rate is going to be. If I'm not mistaken, you offer return during construction as well?
Yes,
Nick?
yes.
Yeah.
So basically, just going back to Ramada, one of the things, because they have hotels already operating in the area in Thailand, they know operating costs. They know average daily room rates. They know occupancy levels. And because they know all of that, we can then basically already project and forecast what our investors are going to get once we open the resort. Now, we'll come to that in just a moment, but going back to what you were saying, Pierre, yes. What we want to do is we want to put our best foot forward for investors. And we don't want people to invest money and have to wait 2 years before they start seeing a return. We will pay all investors 8% per annum, which is paid quarterly, 8% per annum during construction, cash back. So their money is working for them from day one.
Right.
And construction's underway too.
Construction is underway. Yeah. Yeah, construction started, right? So it's
yes, and that's another good point. Construction has already started. We've had some delays because of inclement weather, but the wet season is now behind us. We're now fully operational, and we should be It's projected April, May 2024 that we will be complete.
Yeah. And we invite obviously investors to go and visit because you have a showroom, right, already ready, so you can
we
touch
have an
and feel.
office. We have a showroom that is already built and approved to Ramada 4-star standard. That is on site. That is correct.
Yep. And Nick, we assist with marketing and everything, and we do market all over the world, but we do have a really strong focus in Australia. We have offices in Australia ourselves from Geonet Properties and Finance Group, Eurex Australian, and we are able to offer Australians finance as well. So if they did want to leverage their existing investment properties in Australia and start to diversify their portfolio, what better way to do it with one of the biggest hotel brands in the world and one of the biggest tourist destinations in the world?
Yeah. Well, see, obviously with your finance, the great thing about your finance is that people can realize some of their equity in their existing property. And so they might be borrowing money at, 3, 4, 5%, whatever it is, but we're paying them 8%. They're actually making money by becoming an investor.
Yep. And so, Nick, let's talk again. Online, the clients can, any investor can see the pitch deck is in there. The return on investment after construction. So, what sort of numbers are we expecting as a return on investment, and what have you estimated the occupancy rates at?
Okay, well, based upon all the information we've gathered, obviously from Wyndham Hotels and Resorts and Ramada, and obviously they already have that experience, as I told you. So we've taken all that information, also took information from the Asia Pacific Travel Association. We gathered all this information and came up with an algorithm, and we believe that the worst case scenario, we're talking 1,800 baht per night. Remember, this is for Ramada 4-star standard, which is about $52 US a night.
Wow.
That's really, really cheap.
Really.
So we're talking. So we
For
go
a
worst
beautiful
case scenario,
location and a beautiful
$52,
hotel.
right?
Yeah.
And we go 55% occupancy. Based upon that, we're able to project a rental yield of 8.9% net to our investors.
Wow.
Which is just great anyway.
50% occupancy.
However, if we fast forward and go back to, let's say, 12 months from now, when we actually reach pre-COVID occupancy levels of 78%, even though we're only still using $52 as a US nightly rate, 78% occupancy is going to deliver 13% net.
Yeah.
Now, one of the other things that we just want to mention, if you jump onto Agoda, Booking.com, Hotel.com right now, and you go Ramada in Thailand, they're going to show 2,500 baht, which is about $80, right? It's about $75, $78. Now, we're not going to get there in year one, but year two we will. So when you have a 78% occupancy and a 78 US dollars, that net yield, because of the entry level price, now pushes it up to about 20%, which is unheard of. It's unbelievable.
Absolutely. Backed by, again, the one of the biggest hotel groups in the world.
In the world, correct. Yeah.
And the other thing that we wanted to say, because of this commercial class asset, there is no ongoing monthly fees. You're not having to find tenants. You've got no maintenance and repairs, no insurances. You don't have tenant or real estate issues. You've got none of that. It's all managed prior for you. You don't have to pay anything. So and the other thing that's very, very important is because Ramada require a minimum of a 4-star standard, we have a sinking fund that comes out of the room revenue and is put aside. So every 5 years, all the rooms are completely refurbished, modernized at no cost to the investor.
No cost. Wow.
Yeah.
At no cost to the investor.
And again, this is why and this is what we're already seeing. International investors or Australian investors diversifying their portfolio. Prices are starting from
58,000 US dollar, 55 actually now.
Because of the exchange rate, it was 58. That was 33. It's actually 52,000 US dollars.
Yeah.
Fully furnished Ramada 4-star. Yeah.
Which is what, for 95 Aussie? 95,000 Aussie?
No,
roughly?
it's that basically 1871. Divide that by 24. That is just under 78,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Australian.
Wow.
For the whole apartment, fully furnished.
Yeah, that's brilliant. So Nick, let's just talk about the some of the facilities, because you're not just building some hotel rooms. This is a world-class resort. The lease term is 60 years. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. The nightly rates are great, but let's just run me through some of the other features of the hotel.
Yeah, so there's going to be 7 international restaurants. There is going to be lagoon side dining, obviously general room service. We are building the largest saltwater swimming pool in Thailand. It's going to be over 220 meters in length, which is over 4 Olympic-sized swimming pools.
Wow.
It's going to be up to 40 meters wide. It meanders its way through the entire 6 hotels. We're bringing in all the sand, all the palm trees, and we're creating our very own beach club. So people don't actually have to leave the resort. They don't have to go down and sit on the beach with flies. They can actually just relax. We will have day beds all around the lagoon. It's going to be beautiful. We have a health and well-being center. Health and well-being, and we're not just talking about the normal massage and facials. We're talking proper medical spas, where you can basically have virtually everything, non-cosmetic surgery, all these different types of things are going to be available to people that actually stay there. We also have, for ladies, we have retail boutique, 3-story. We've got 12 3-story shopping center. We have event center. As I said to you before, we've got 900 square meters of coffee shop and social work areas. And we've got normal gymnasiums, all those sorts of things. There's a running track. To give you the size of this project, we're on 64,000 square meters of land. Wow. So the circumference around the lagoon, we put a running track there. It's actually 1.1 kilometers in length.
So it's an amazing resort. It's an amazing resort.
And will investor be able to stay there? That's the big question, obviously, because it's
because it's an investment first and foremost. You would expect that you couldn't use it, or they say, right, you get 2 weeks in low season to use. We've not done that. We've said we want to be unique. We want to have the best of both worlds for our investors. So if our investors wish to use it, they can use it at any time. No blackout dates, availability is guaranteed, and they will receive 75% off the nightly rate. Now, our nightly rate is $52, $53. That means that they will only pay an average of $12 US a night
to stay in that facility.
Up to 4 people for Ramada 4-star standard.
Wow.
And that's all it is. Now, remember, if they don't use it, they pay nothing.
Yeah.
They only pay if they're going to be using it.
So it's interesting. We were talking about digital nomads and people who are looking for a base. So that means they could technically, when you invest in this property, you could stay there for what, $300 a month?
Yeah, technically $300, $400 is you could stay there per month. That is correct. And remember, it's including electricity, it includes water, it includes daily maid service, includes use of all the facilities. And our investors also get 15% off all the food and beverage.
Wow.
And they get 10. Yeah. So do you know what I mean? So it's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer.
It is absolutely one of the most exciting projects that we have on the in a portfolio, and that's what we're already seeing. It's already selling very well. We're seeing people diversify their investment portfolio. Bali, Thailand, and Australia, and I think Australians, but particularly when we talk about that, are getting smarter about property investment. They understand that superannuation is not going to cut it, and they're savvy. So this is an exciting one. And of course, any international investors are loving it as well. We've had people from Germany, Hungary, Belgium,
Australia, Hong Kong, Singapore. I mean, obviously, Thailand being the most visited country in Asia is very attractive, and it's a piece of mind. Ramada is doing everything. Technically, you're investing and you can go and stay there, but there's a lot of special offers now, Nick, right? And they are not going to last that long because the project is well ongoing. We've sold a fair bit of units. So can you tell us about what happens to investors who are buying now?
Just going back to the Australian market before I come on to that, basically, look, I personally believe the Australian market has plateaued. It's very, very expensive to buy property. Smart money is moving out of Australia. You know, if you look at the price that I was selling that property for on the Gold Coast in 1987, we're about the same price. So it's like if you had an opportunity to buy on the Gold Coast 35 years ago, would you do it? Of course you would. So this is the same opportunity now,
very
and the
interesting
smart
point.
money's moving out of Australia, and it's going into areas that's going to get that growth.
And that are backed by trust and credibility and companies that have done the due diligence.
And a massive market, local market as well, that is driving the demand, right, Nick? We always talk about expats because that's what, who we're targeting, but the local demand is huge as well for those resorts.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, this, again, people from Bangkok are coming down. Remember, we're only an hour and a half away from a population of 14 million people, which is great for the investor, knowing that you've got the occupancy levels high. Occupancy levels are high, drives up the average daily room rate, drives up your rental yield. Absolutely. And the smart money's getting in now because the real estate cycle is just starting in Thailand, and people that invest now over the next 3 to 5 years are going to see some serious growth on their money.
It's interesting you say that, Nick. We actually had a conversation, one of the podcasts with our mortgage broking team earlier, and we were that was the exact topic that we were talking about. Is a house and land property investment in Australia? It's just not that sexy anymore as far as a positive cash flow, which is what everybody wants, positive cash flow, and you have to go into really particular products in Australia, co-living, dual keys, NDIS, but you can't just rely on that alone, right? So it's we're very much seeing that for the Australian market is because the biggest age groups are looking for retirement. The retirement's got to come from cash flow positive property as they come out of the workforce, and this is one of the best projects for people to look at.
Yeah, look, we think so. And sort of just going back to Pierre's, question about what is a special offer. We've been at promotional prices now for the last 3 months. And so just so you know, as of the 1st of January, we have a 5% price increase across the board. So that's very, very important to know. We also pay...
Well, good for the investors that have been in the last few months as well.
Yep.
So they're going to get an automatic 5% equity into their portfolio. Also, we're paying the 1.1% government fees here. So there's no hidden costs. We are fully transparent. So we're paying that. We pay the 8% per annum, during cash back for up to 2 years while we're under construction. So you think about that, 8% 1 year, 8% next year. That's another 16% off the price, virtually. We also, for peace of mind, because the developer is well known here, we've put our money where our mouth is, and we will offer all investors 7-year, 100% buyback option. If they opt to walk away after 7 years, they get to keep all the money that we've given them, and we'll give them 100% of their money back in 7 years' time.
That's all the trust and credibility that you could ever hope for.
It is, but not only. I think also if an investor wants to position, and select one of the units and pay today, they can come up with 50%, right? And they will still get the 8% interest on that 50%. They can come and visit. Obviously the showroom. If they like it, they can upgrade to 100% for the same price, right, Nick? And also, once they become an investor and they want to go and visit the area, because obviously not everybody knows the south of Pattaya. You guys are inviting them for a week stay in a similar hotel, right?
Yes. Again, we want investors to be happy. So we offer them 7 nights. We're not paying for airfares, but we will pay 7 nights accommodation, and we'll put them in a similar 4-star hotel, which will be within 10 minutes drive of our project. They come on down, we'll put some hard hats on them, we'll drive around the golf buggy, we'll point out which is their room. They can see the whole development. They'll see how vast this resort and this project is, with the digging out of the lagoon and all those sorts of things. Absolutely. And that is free of charge.
Right. So, and we talk about this a lot. Property investment is supposed to be fun too. What's more fun than coming down and seeing your project being built and getting involved with such a big brand.
Correct.
Yeah. Absolutely. From a cash flow perspective, if people are not wanting to pay cash, we will pay 8% on their deposit providing their deposit is a minimum of 25%. So the minimum deposit is it's just under 20,000 Australian
dollar.
Right?
Wow.
It's just under 20,000. So, and then we have an 18 months interest-free period if they want to do it internally. Obviously, you can go through your own finance, taking equity out of their own home. So there's a few different options there as well. We're very, very flexible. We want our investors to have peace of mind. It's a set and forget investment. This is not crypto that you're looking at your phone like 500 times a day. It's going up, it's going down. It's all over. This is a set and forget, knowing that you're going to get 12 to 15% per annum on your money.
Yep, this is brilliant. Nick, I really appreciate your time. I know you're busy. Thanks for joining us from the other side of Asia and spending some time with us.
A little bit north.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Just one thing, like people ask me, they go, you've been in business a long time. If you were to say one word of advice, what would it be? Well, because I've made these mistakes. So it's like, do as I say, don't do as I do. You should always buy, never sell, and diversify your portfolio.
Absolutely.
Are you saying you didn't buy one of the Isle of Capri at 65,000?
No, I didn't.
Oh
no,
my
I did not.
God.
Just two would have been.
you would be sorted. Yeah.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thanks so
Nick.
much for your time,
Thank you,
Nick. I
Nick.
appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks very much. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Thank you, Pierre. That was exciting. I love
Wow.
talking to Nick because, again, another
just-
fellow Australian, but
Yeah.
he's an expat.
Full of energy. He loves the project. He's got a passion for real estate, as you can tell. Yeah. Great guy.
And just very switched on. I think it's one of the best investments that we have on our platform.
I mean, remember 20,000. That's all you need to get in there. Go and visit. You'll get Nick will show you around. We'll show you the project, and then if you like it, you're gonna get 8% on your money during construction, and as soon as it's operational, he's talking about 13% net return.
And pre-COVID figures, we're getting as high as 20%. It's exciting. So please have a look at all the links on our website. Please subscribe to our channel for more information. And thanks for spending the time with us today. Thanks, Pierre.
Good day, guys. Cheers.